abusia for mema obi bia akwa abashonko so edeba POG Media so abusia for make sure obi bia say afei eno abadwuma de we so a obe like obe share no subscribe to the channel send ya be ya new political updated videos bia e ko twi ko brema ba bia no won san so ebetumi akabi ene ye call political highway no so no ya John Dramani Mahama president odi ade so osi ade so akasa ne kasa yemu nyina ne se ne buafu ye papa se corruption akoso e wo oman Ghana yimu edoso too much abro so ama ne buafu ye ama no ode ne na tintin fom aka akire Furǐoǔwaly ene chairman abraka se masa yimu tinsim monkose monkona monkoje nyoma ekoso ho nyina monji from nyina sa kos krono eno mo bo oman yimu anene ni abre papa oka kire speaker of parliament say krono na ekoso no ode ne tintin fom obe fight against no corruption na ekoso oman Ghana emu abusuafo me say obi ambre bebre me hwe mo say obami akọ ne akotie de John Mahama ekai that was
such as land and other immovable assets by members of the political class. Mr. Speaker, I pledge to fight corruption head-on by implementing Operation Recover All the Loot, oral. In that regard, Mr. Speaker, one of the first committees I established, even before my investiture as president, was to establish the oral committee on the sidelines of our transition. It is instructive to announce that the committee received over 2,000 complaints from the public and has since handed over a comprehensive report. This report has been given to the Attorney General for further review, thorough investigation, and eventual prosecutions. Mr. Speaker, the recent arrest related to the unwarranted payment of $2 million of Ghanaian taxpayers' money in the Sky train saga, and then also the National Service Ghost Name scandal, mark only the beginning of a comprehensive response based on the oral committee's findings. Mr. Speaker, let me state that my commitment to fighting corruption will continue with the establishment of a unit at the presidency and the maintenance of the hotline where complaints and reports regarding graft and corruption will continue to be received and transferred to the Office of the Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, we will shortly submit for consideration a bill to regulate and restrict the sale of disposal of public lands and state assets.
Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualifications Act 1998, Act 550. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the Declaration of Assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. Even as we strive to hold past government officials accountable for their stewardship, I deem it even more imperative to enforce anti-corruption among our present public office holders.
In the national daily minimum wage by 10%, over the 2024 national daily minimum wage, which translates into a new national daily minimum wage of 19.97 Ghana cedis.
Well, this particular news of the minimum wage generated some conversation, but John Dramani Mahama, when he met Labour, put a proposition before them. But question is, how bad is the economy that he described as criminally managed beyond what we know? That's a conversation that we'll have this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the studios here at Desawe, Accra. Welcome to the Key Point on TV3. We're live on 3FM 92.7. On this program, we discuss the most topical issues that are of concern to you, the Ghanaian people, with well-informed panelists. Let me just inform you as well that you are an integral part of the conversation this morning. So don't hesitate to let us know what your thoughts are. This morning, here on Key Point, get into our first issue, and that is President John Dramani Mahama, as you saw there, has directed all government appointees to declare their assets by March 31, 2025, or risk losing their positions. So it's going to dismiss them. Well, even though the legal argument has come as to whether that is, of legal basis or not, it intends to send a strong signal of his commitment to the fight against corruption. But the other side as well, we're also looking at the president, according to them, missing the opportunity to send another strong signal by publishing the assets so declared. Well, all those sides of the conversation would be joining us this morning. The president made it clear that his administration would not tolerate non-compliance. But beyond this word, what next? That's the conversation that we would have. Already, you've heard the likes of Professor Furǐoǔwa Ly on this platform talk about beyond the Operation Recover or Loot, there has to be some measures for OPAL after oral, Operation Prevent or Loot. We'll talk about it this morning here on Key Point. As always, you're an integral part. Let's hear from you. The next issue that we would sink our teeth into is earlier in the week, the former Director General of the National Service Authority and also the former Sports Minister both replied to the Fourth Estate. We'll get into that and the Fourth Estate's response to their reply. We'll talk about it this morning on Key Point. The Tripartite Committee earlier this week as well met. Government had assured public sector workers of higher pay and enhanced conditions of service when the economy recovers. President Mahama met the Tripartite Committee. In fact, he met Labour this week, together with the Minister of Labour, Jobs and Employment, and the Finance Minister as well. The announcement of the 10% increase in base pay for public sector workers, and his description of the state of the economy that he inherited. But we have to get to know the details. He's expected to present the State of the Nation address next week, but already giving pointers about how the economy is looking. We would have a conversation this morning on this matter. The Akwetia Member of Parliament was cited for contempt. According to the lawyers of the NDC and as parliamentary candidate in the Akwetia constituency, a bench warrant was prepared for his arrest this week. Yesterday,
immediately. Don't wait for the 48 hours. No, go immediately so that the judge can look into it, listen to both sides, and then decide whether the person should be accused or suspect should be granted bail. So that's a democracy. We are growing gradually, though sometimes it's very slow because you hear other judges complain that our Act 30 is very archaic. You see the matter of the this Officials&Alert being declared wanted, the exact procedures that we want, you know.
Exactly.
Act 30 is very archaic, the Criminal Procedure Act.
It's good that you run through Pebu number 1, 2, 3, 4, because I recall sometime in last year, November, I got a message as to what I keep saying Pebu number 1, Pebu number 2, Pebu number 3, Pebu number 4. Some people don't know what this is all about and why you are being credited that much with your own small way of contributing to the jurisprudence and the improvement of our justice delivery system in this country. So yes, that at least now, those of you who are wondering what Pebu number 1, 2, 3, 4 is, now you know.
Yeah. So it takes vigilant citizens. We have to be active. Yeah.
And that's why you are also being credited for what you have done. So congratulations to you. It's in order.
It's a court. It's a judge that will, and then the Akuffo court. Yeah, usually a lot depends on the judge.
You decided to do
the Supreme Court is a policy court. What they do, a lot of it is policy. Indeed. So they sit down and look, will this help our democracy, will it not? Yeah, there are many times we've disagreed, but usually when you're in the Supreme Court, you have to know that it's policy. So it's not too much how much you write, or your English may not be up to scratch. Sometimes I even look at the submission, I'm like, oh, this English there, you see a typo here and then you cringe. But they are looking at the policy, because in India, you don't even need to be a lawyer. You can take pen and paper, you see a problem, and you write the Supreme Court a letter. Yes, you write them a letter.
In the end, you decided to test the law with your own resources.
Yes. Good. Yes.
To improve
on
our justice delivery system.
Yeah.
That's congratulations. Thank you for also taking up and using your own money to help of the judges who sat on the case and the reasoning of those judges. We are where we are today. You know.
But let me mention this, it's very important, because as soon as you mention money, you know, going to court is quite expensive.
Yes.
So by the time we got to that one, you don't see a good decision on it. But the law on criminal disclosures, okay? Yes, I first filed in the Supreme Court. The story I want to say about it is that legal aid, if as a citizen, you've seen a constitutional problem and you can't come to a private lawyer, you can't pay, you can go to legal aid. That time, the legal aid commissioner, the executive secretary, lawyer Seni, yes, S.Y. Seni. So he decided that the case on criminal disclosures, legal aid will sponsor me. So they sponsored the filing, so we didn't pay the filing fees. So please, in the Constitution, it's in there that if you want to take up a constitutional matter, you don't have money, get into article about before 200. I'll get a specific provision. It's in there. You go to legal aid, they can help. Yes, because they are supposed to help you ventilate your constitutional.
Ida Obibia or J-Bre any RS Edumediwe. I mean, sure, Obibia or J-Bre any RS Edumediwe. I say, Abusian for Mestro says, unlike here, over like here. Now unsubscribing, so I was subscribe to the channel and send you political updated videos via a quote record my baby and one sounds to me. I can be so what's in order. So any aje, so any home, Abusian for open political updated new videos via a higher and a cover a POG Media and I want sounds to me. I can.